Jennifer Robbins is standing by as well, looking at what we're seeing in terms of any sort of tidal movement, what we're seeing with the currents. What are you noticing on your end? What we're witnessing here, is this kind of typical for what we should expect in this type of event?
Very interesting to watch all of the elements come together right now, and it's unfolding before our eyes. And I really do think, like we were talking about in the press conference, that the initial wave is much smaller, and then we could see that build up within the next couple of hours. But can actually see the direction of these currents. There is a little bit of stirring up that's going on where it is coming in different directions there. So this current is becoming more strong, and it is becoming a little bit more unpredictable. And that's why, like this gentleman or Wahine that's in the water right now, it's just too early to say if the waves are coming our way, and they're going to be coming in waves. We're talking about not just one big wave. We're going to have wave after wave and surges of energy. And historically speaking, because Hanalei is a place that we do have been impacted by tsunami waves. We've seen that along the north and east shores of the western end of the state, and along the north shores of Maui County, and then along Hilo, there historically have seen big significant tsunamis that have impacted them. So it does take time for all of this to build in, and like we're talking about, it's going to be a waiting game right now, and we'll have to be patient and just until we get that all clear to stay out of the water.
I'm going to bring your attention though just to about the middle of the screen. You can see the water, the current is moving from left to right. That is water leaving. That's what it looks like, water leaving. You can see the waves that are rippling just behind that. Those are not incoming waves. Those are waves that are flowing over the reef and heading out. And then just in the foreground, ahead of the water that is moving from left to right on your screen, we can see more rocks that are being exposed right now.
I can see it. You do see that receding a little bit more now.
If we had a side-by-side picture of what we were witnessing an hour before this, definitely looked very, calm with just the ripples of the waves coming into the shore. But now you can definitely see changes in the water.
Yeah, especially since I'm not familiar with Hanalei Bay, but if this were more of a daytime shot, usually what we see when we take this camera for our weathercasts, it's basically water, it's beach. But then now I'm almost wondering if that's not only beach, I'm wondering if that's sand that may be exposed there.
Lava rock along the bay.
Actually, just look where the palm trees are. You can see where the palm trees are. Sand is starting to get exposed there.
Yeah, you can very clearly see the sand, the rocks. Of course, this is the big sign that the wave is growing. It's growing as it's approaching the shoreline. I'm trying to find where that person was, or where they were foiling, whether they were paddleboarding. Were they impacted by the water receding out?
Yeah, it's really hard to see. It's getting darker by the minute right now, and the water is a place not to be, of course, when you see how unpredictable the water is, and especially with the strong currents that accompany a tsunami.
Yeah, in fact, look, I can tell now, that's sand now. There's a lot of sand exposed there. And so you see the waves just off in the distance, but a lot of the beach, a lot of Hanalei Bay, the sand, even as you look to your left, to the left side of the screen, looks like more sand, looks like more of the reef, more of the rocks. It looks like the beach has receded probably about 100 feet.
Do we know how many buoys are in the area?
Not that many. I don't think there's any buoys there. The one that we do have, Jen's going to go take a look real quick.
I do remember while listening into that news conference from Dr. Chip McCrary, he says that they are monitoring 15 sea level gauges across the state as this event is happening to get more data, saying that it's going to be several hours before the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center may be able to lower the warning to an advisory when the waves go down, and it won't be until at least tomorrow morning when possibly that warning is canceled altogether.
And
But yeah.
Steph, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it seems like the water might be rushing back in ever so slightly. You can see some waves forming, and some of the sand that was previously exposed is getting covered up. You can see those ripples right in the center of your screen. Luckily, we still have a little bit of daylight over near Hanalei Bay compared to our other tower cams. It seems like some water might be rushing in, but still a lot of sand exposed out there.
Right, all of this happening more than 40 minutes after the estimated arrival of the first waves in Hanalei Bay at 7:10. So these changes right now unfolding as we speak, and we're keeping a close eye on it. Any other observations there, Jen?
It's just really interesting to think about how much energy has moved across the ocean. With the tsunami wave, the initial surge of energy moving at 500 miles per hour across the ocean, and the wave direction really will tell a big story of what kind of wave we get. Like we were talking about, it's going across open waters. It has to cross multiple islands, atolls as well before it arrives here. So that's going to impact those initial waves. And then now we're starting to see that surge of energy that comes through. So this is likely the second or third wave, like we're talking about, out of this whole tsunami event.
Yeah, and from our reporter out on the North Shore, also reporting earlier that the water was receding, and now seeing that the tide is returning and coming back. So we are also seeing these changes as well on our shores here on Oahu.
Yeah, and this is going to be an hours-long event. As the forecasters have been telling us, this is not a single wave. They've been telling us throughout this waiting period, this is going to be taking place over the course of several hours right now. Jen, you said it best. We are watching this unfold before our very eyes right now. We're going to be staying on this cam at Hanalei Bay, which is the first site of activity following this tsunami warning. We're also keeping close tabs right now on what is happening up and down the island chain. But I mean, the way that forecasters were able to pinpoint down and kind of this timetable here from when the earthquake initially struck, I mean, it seems to be right on line with what we're seeing here, and the activity really lights up.
Yeah, you know, speaking of activity, guys, sorry, we just want to take another live look at a camera that has just become available for us.
Another vantage point of
Hanalei Bay. So, pardon, sometimes the live shot there does freeze, but at least this gives us an idea. I know a viewer sent in a screenshot of the changes that were taking place, of the water receding earlier. Of course, this is a live look right now as we are seeing the water lapping over the shoreline there. Another vantage point of Hanalei Bay.
It's hard to tell from this vantage point, but you know, we'd have to see if there's any receding water that happened before this. There looks like there's a little bit of a debris line, not that big, so that would be above the heart.